Hi, this is Ernie. I'm the guy who had $6 in his checking account to now having millions of dollars. Some of you guys watch my videos on NU Bank Holdings. It's one of the hottest banking or fintech company based out of Brazil, and they're just acquiring customers left and right as soon as they get into any country that they are targeting. And people said, hey, should I get in or should I not get in? That was the number one question. And then number two, if I were to get in, how high is the stock price going to go? So I'm going to share my logic and math and data behind why I think it's going to go to $30, maybe even $40, but not overnight, not in a matter of months. It will take time, and I'll explain to you exactly why it's going to take time as well. Nu is a bank with 139 customers. Majority of them are in Brazil. They enter Mexico and they became one of the key players in Mexico. They enter Colombia as well. And you'll be able to get all the info if you were just to Google it. And Warren Buffett used to be a shareholder. He doesn't have the shares anymore, but that does not mean that this is not a good stock. I'm sure he is looking to have more cash or maybe trying to deploy it somewhere where it's more undervalued. So, but this company is about to enter the US market. And why does that matter? I'm going to show you the data. This is from their website. They got an approval from OCC to operate as a bank here in the US. And it takes about 12 months up to 18 months for them to be operational. That's why I say this is not going to generate a lot of revenue for them until that 18-month mark is achieved, which means they're going to start announcing number of acquisitions in middle of next year. But as you get closer to middle of next year, I'm sure the stock price is going to go higher because they're now targeting more lucrative customers. Again, that's the data, right? 180 million, 15 million, and 5 million customers in 3 countries where they operate. And like I mentioned, they are coming here to the US. Yes, we don't have that many people in Brazil, right? It's Hispanic population, but we have 68 million Hispanic populations. And guess how much money they have? Average household income for Hispanic population, it's a median household income, it's about $71,000. Compared to Brazil, that's the median household income, $415 per month. So if you multiply that by 12, it doesn't even reach 5,000. So now you know how lucrative American customers can be when there's a lot more money. So if you were to calculate the average revenue per customer, this is going to be very, very high. And I also want you to look at the amount, just the sheer health of the company. If you look at the quarterly earning, just look at that. That was the latest earning. They had massive amount of revenue, and that is the net income. Yes, this bank makes so much money. And the beauty of Grok or any other AI tool is you could just punch it in any question and they'll spit out. Here, they mentioned the January 2026 approval. Management has indicated that they're going to get about 5 to 10 million US customers. It's going to be like ready for them. That's what they're going to target. One estimate from Citibank, they think US business will be $21 billion by 2030. At around 2% market share in key states. So we're not even targeting a lot. We're just targeting 2% and 5 million customers at a conservative rate of, that's an average revenue per acquired customer or active customer to $100 to $200. So if you just punch that in, this actually says constructive scenario. This is going to be $24 to $40 or higher, depending on how well it can do. And if things are doing well, right? You know, the digital banking picks up and there's no major hiccups, they think in an optimistic multi-year scenario, this is going to get to $50+ million. So, and it summarizes here. Bottom line, mid to high 20s or 30s is what you can about expect in about 2, maybe 3 years or so. So you might say, hey, Ernie, compared to what you just did with Moderna, this return is not that great. To me, this is a long-term play. Just imagine how well they can do, getting not 2% market share, but more. This stock could potentially go to 50, 60, 70, maybe even $100, or maybe just like SoFi. Remember, SoFi almost got acquired by JP Morgan. Maybe one of these big banks said, wow, Hispanic community, Spanish speaking, Portuguese speaking, there are so many countries that this company can enter. So they might actually say, I want to acquire them at a very good premium. So what am I doing to benefit from potential pop eventually down the road? This is a long-term investment. This is a long-term investment for me that I want to hold for a number of years. I started my position with 7,000 shares, and I'm selling cover call every week, every other week, whenever I can. And I am just keep accumulating and keep increasing my strike price so that now I have close to 9,200 shares. As you can see, selling call options every single week. This one is expiring not this week, but next week. I'm using that money to buy more shares. So rather than 7,000, now I have 92,000 more shares. And if I just keep this up, I could actually sell one more share because I have 92. What I'm going to be able to do is I'll be able to maybe sell 93 contracts in maybe 2 weeks, and then 94 contracts in a couple weeks. So just compounding until I get to that 50, maybe 30, $40 price target, maybe even 50, so that I can turn my $100,000 investment to $500,000 or maybe even more. This is precisely why I am sharing a lot of content about options, because you could just sit and wait and not do anything. The company doesn't pay dividends, so there's nothing coming. Or if you use options and call options against it and just collect that premium and reinvest, now you not only have more shares, but you are able to build wealth on a not quarterly, weekly basis, that you'll be able to compound at a ridiculous rate, so that this might eventually turn into $1 million portfolio or holding. Hope this gives you a good understanding of why I think this is going to go $30 to $40 on a conservative level, and why I am still willing to hold on to this with all the ups and downs, because I think that the amount of potential is just huge. I mean, they even haven't entered like Argentina or Spain. So just imagine how many more countries they can enter and pretty much become the #1 digital banking institution in all Spanish and Portuguese speaking countries. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to learn about doing research, stock picking, this is actually a book that I want you to watch. I want you to read, so that you be able to not just listen to somebody and buy it, but you do your own research. Like, speculation is what you hear on X and other platform or videos and just buy blindly, versus you actually do extensive research and say, you know what, I'm so convinced that this is where I'm going to put my hard-earned money and convert $100,000 to $500,000 or even $1 million in a matter of a couple years, especially utilizing options. That's how you build wealth. Again, thanks for watching, and don't forget to check this out from a local library where your tax money is actually paying for this.